Hello, this is Stephen Nicholls from Dudley Performing Arts, and this is my third video lesson for my whole class guitar students. Now today we're going to be expanding on what we know about the pentatonic scale. We've learnt the E minor pentatonic scale, and hopefully you're all really good at that now, and hopefully you've composed some of your own riffs in that scale. And what we're going to be doing today is learning how to transpose that scale into different keys, similar to the way that we used power chords in class. If you remember, we had an E power chord, our finger on the 5th string, playing our 6th and 5th strings, and then all we had to do to get to an A power chord, so to transpose that same chord into the key of A, is just move down a string, and that gave us our A5 chord, and then we could move it down again onto the 3rd string, and that gave us our D5 chord. So just by moving the same shape down, we could get the same chord in 3 different keys. Now we're going to try that with our pentatonic scales today, and we're going to learn a piece of music called Green Onions, which uses the same riff, so similar to the riffs you may have composed yourselves, and it just transposes it. We call it transposition when we move from one key to the other. It transposes it from the key of A to the key of D to the key of A and to the key of E. Okay, so it keeps changing between those 3 keys. So we've got the A minor pentatonic scale, the D minor pentatonic scale, which are the new ones, and our E minor pentatonic scale, which is the one we already know. Okay, so I'm just going to start by showing you those scales and how they change. Okay, so we'll start with the E minor pentatonic, which we know, and that was, we know those notes now, so it's E, G, A, B, D, E. They were our notes just going up the scale, okay? I'm not going to bother going back down at the moment. Now, all we're going to do to move to our A minor pentatonic scale is use exactly the same shape, but move everything down a string towards the floor. So we're going to start on our 5th string, and we're going to play still our open and 3rd fret. But this time, instead of an E and a G note, we've now got an A and a C note. Then we're going to move to our 4th string, and we're going to play open and 2nd fret. That gives us a D and an E note. Then we're going to move on to our 3rd string and play our open and 2nd fret, and that gives us a G and an A note. So exactly the same shape, we've just moved down a string. Now the D minor pentatonic scale moves down again, so we start on the D string, the 4th string, and we're going to play the same shape, but this one's a little bit trickier because it changes when we get to the 2nd string because of the way the guitar is tuned. It's still the same kind of shape, but because of the way we tune our guitars, we have to change the shape very slightly when we get to the 2nd string. So we're going to start on our 4th string, we're still going to play open and 3rd fret, and that gives us a D and an F. Then we're going to go to our 3rd string, and we're going to play open and 2nd, which gives us a G and an A. And then we're going to move to our 2nd string, and we're going to play our 1st fret and our 3rd fret, which gives us our C and D. So the shape for the D minor . Now, what we're going to do, we're going to try and learn the piece of Green Onions. Now, the riff's really simple. It only uses the first three notes of each of those scales, and it just changes it into the different keys. So it's a nice, simple riff to learn, so we can just practice moving between the 3 scales. Okay, so I'm going to show you the riff. First of all, in the key of A. So we're going to start on our 5th string, and we're going to play A, C, and then we're going to move up to our 4th string for a D note. So have a listen to that again. We've got . So we're going to do that 4 times on an A. Okay, so exactly the same thing 4 times in a row. Now once we've got the riff in A, we're going to try and move it down a string, and we're going to play it in D. So I did exactly the same pattern we've just done for A. I just played D, 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 F on the 4th string, okay, with my open and 3rd frets, and then I just moved to my open 3rd string for a G note. So I had D, 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 F, G, and I did that twice on D. And then all we're going to do is go back up a string to A again. We're going to play twice more on A. A, C, D. Okay, then after we've done 2 more A's, we're going to move up to our 6th string for E, and we're going to play E, 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 G, A. And we're only going to do the E riff once, so it's a little bit trickier because we're going to move from E straight over to D. So after we've done our E once, we're going to move over to 4th string and play D again, and then we're going to go back to our 5th string for A again twice at the end. I'm going to play it through the backing track now. The notation will be up on the screen as well, so look at the notation. It tells you which scale's being used for each of the riffs and when it's changing, and you can also watch what my fingers are doing to make sure you're playing everything in the right place. And feel free to rewind this and try and play along. Okay, so we're going to go through 3 times through the whole thing. Okay, so... move down to D. Back up to A. Up to E. Down to D. Back to A. A. 1, 2, 3, 4, D. And A. Up to E. D. And A. And the last time I won't say anything. Okay, so that's the whole piece. Go back to any of the different parts of this video and rewatch them. Make sure you've got the scales first, and then work through the riff with me. And then at the end of this video, I'll leave a backing track so you can play along without any other guitar playing. So you're the guitar player, and the music will be up there if you would like to follow it as you play along. If it's a little bit quick for you at first, you can click on the settings for YouTube. I think there's normally 3 dots if you're looking at it on a mobile. And you can change the playback speed. So you could put it on 0.75 playback speed, which is 3/4 of the original speed. And it'll be a bit more manageable for you to keep up then. And then when you're really comfortable at that speed, you can put it back to full speed and try it full speed. Now, once you've played Green Onions and you're comfortable moving the riff between A, D and E, you might want to go back to your riffs that you composed last session and see if you could do the same thing. So I've included another link below this video. So the sheet's got the 3 scales on, the A minor pentatonic, the D minor pentatonic and the E minor pentatonic. And it's also got some examples of how you can compose riffs and move them into different keys, similar to how we did last session. And at the bottom there's a little space for if you'd like to have a go doing it with your own riffs. Okay, so be as creative as you can with that. And I'll see you for another session next week.